Good morning, YouTube. It is 11:30 on October the 8th. That's 11:30 in the morning, not 11:30 at night. Oh, so where have I been? Well, I have, I'll be honest, I've been in China with my wife. I've been in China with my wife and my little boy, and they're currently still over there, but they can remain over there because my wife is a Chinese national, so she can stay for as long as she wants. And my son is half Chinese. He has a British passport, but he also has a Chinese travel document that allows him to stay in China indefinitely. I am currently back over here because my spouse visa that I'm on, my family visa, only allows me 142 days at a time. And I've got some admin work I need to finish off. I will be back in China in January. As you can hear, quite possibly, you can probably hear drills and the sound of pneumatics going on. That's because they're doing some construction work outside. They're recladding the building. Why are they recladding the building? Well, it's simple. Anyone remember Grenfell? Yeah, that's the reason why. After the Grenfell fire, the government at the time thought it was a case of, we need to make sure all the buildings in Britain are cladded with fireproof cladding. I do think it's kind of funny how they would ask every building in Britain now to be, every single apartment block in Britain to be put up with fireproof cladding. Now that it's happened in London, I mean, if it had happened, say, in Bristol or Nottingham or, I don't know, Edinburgh or maybe Belfast or, I don't know, York or something like that, would it have been a priority for buildings? I personally don't think so. I also, as some of you know, I live in Liverpool. Just a few minutes away, actually, from where the Labour Party held their conference. I'm not going to say whereabouts, but it's just a few minutes away from there, or at least that's where they held it. I went past there the other day to get to work, and there was a guy who was outside called Benjamin, and he was holding up two little placards, only about that sort of size. He's holding them up. One of them was saying, "Say no to digital ID," and another one which was, "Tax the wealthy." I agree on both. Now here's the thing. Benjamin was outside the Labour conference, and I asked him if he was a Labour supporter. He said he was. This is a guy who is on the left that doesn't agree with the left's policies. This whole idea of digital ID, it's a bad idea. It is a very bad idea. I've spoken to my parents about this. I think my dad doesn't like the idea of it, but he can understand why it's being brought in, or at least he says he understands why it's being brought in. My mum, she's not fussed either way. But I was speaking to my dad specifically about this, and he said, look, both your grandparents had IDs during the war. We had them in the 1950s, so on and so forth. And I said to Dad, the thing is, though, keep in mind at the time they were fighting a war. They needed them, to make sure that they know who was who. They're not necessary now. Why should we have a digital ID when we have things such as a passport, we have a driving license? They say that we're not going to be able to work without a digital ID. That's why we've got a national insurance number, you moron. Not you who's watching, I mean Keir Starmer, the moron. Right? Yeah, I'll say that, and I don't care if I get a knock at the door either, saying, you can't say this about the Supreme Leader. Why not? I just did. I will happily go to prison for my beliefs. I really will. I also feel that, this is me just saying this, I also feel that there's going to be a civil war on the way. And I am so glad, and if that is the case, then I am so glad my wife and child are not here. Because it means they don't have to endure it, but it would be a nightmare getting them out. So they're already out, so that's one thing. My mum and dad are elderly, so we'd have to get them out. And then that leaves my sister and her children. Yeah, them as well go. That would leave my brother-in-law and me here, family-wise. I don't know about my brother-in-law, but I would genuinely stay to fight it. I'm not the sort to back down from a fight if necessary, and if necessary, I will fight for my country on home soil. Over the next few weeks, because I've really only just come back and I'm trying to get my head around everything, I'm going to be doing a few more videos, but they're going to be completely random ones, so just keep an eye out for them. They will follow a genuine, they will follow a loose thread, shall we say. But they're going to be random, but they will talk about certain topics that I will get round to. Until that time, YouTube, whoever you are, thank you for watching. Please, if you like what I've got to say, like and subscribe, because it's the likes that boost the algorithm. And please subscribe, because if you subscribe to me, I promise I will subscribe to you. Also, if you like what I've got to say, brilliant. If you don't like what I've got to say, again, brilliant. If you only partially agree, again, brilliant. Let me know if you do agree with me outright, if you don't agree with me at all, or if you only partially agree with me. If you don't agree with me at all, let me know. If you only partially agree with me, let me know. That's what the comment section is there for. Write it in there, get your feelings out there, tell me. I promise you, not only will I follow you if you follow me, but if you disagree with me, I will talk to you in a very respectful manner. I will hear your side of things, and I will make sure that your voice on here is valid. So, until next time, take care.